What I want to show you today is how my automated email drip campaigns have earned me $60,000 in the first quarter of this year alone from clients that I had never met before. And it all started with crafting emails that were so good, clients actually responded to them. So here's what I'm going to cover. My simple 3-part framework to make an email worth responding to. Number 1, make a subject line so good that they would be silly not to open the email. Number 2, less is more, spam versus value. And number 3, how to craft a proper call to action. The reason you're here today is because you're sending emails, but you're getting ghosted. You're not getting a single reply to emails. You're spending hours drafting, so it all feels like a waste. Or even worse, maybe you're sending emails, but you're having more leads unsubscribe from your emails, which limits you from contacting those leads in the future, and they're just sitting in your database graveyard. So you either spend hours trying to write something better, hours you should be spending on appointments and deals, or you send nothing at all and your database sits there and goes cold. So here's what you actually want. Emails your leads reply to within minutes without being a copywriter. You do the money-making activities and the back end of your CRM nurtures itself. Now, setting up the nurture automations is a whole video on its own, but drop a comment if you want me to cover that in the next video. Let me know which CRM you use and how it's working for or against you. Now, today is about one thing, how to draft an email so good your clients actually reply without being a copywriter in the shortest amount of time so you can make more money from the database that you already have. According to a study, email is nearly 40 times more effective than acquiring new customers than Facebook and X combined. Just from my own experience, this year alone in the first quarter of 2026, I generated over $60,000 GCI in closed commissions, all from my email marketing drip campaigns. If you're a real estate agent looking to make more money from the leads that you already have in your database, the leads that you've already paid for, without buying anything new or any extra effort from you, I have a free course inside of our Real Estate Money community. My top 6 agent systems, 100% for free. Just click the link in the description and it'll take you right to the community. So let's get into it. This is part 1 of the framework. Make a subject line so good that they would be silly not to open the email. Now, think of your subject line as a hook, okay? A hook is the first thing people see or hear and makes them want to keep watching or reading. I'm a big Alex Hormozi fan, one of the greatest businessmen and marketers of maybe all time. He says his team spends more than half of their time on the first 5 seconds of a video because those 5 seconds decide 80 to 90% of who stays, right? If viewers don't stop scrolling, then nothing else in the video matters. The same thing applies to the subject line. Think of the subject line as a hook for a social media video. Your clients are scrolling right past your email, not even opening it because you're not giving them a good enough reason to care enough to read it, which means more ghosting, more unsubscribes, more wasted time, right? The subject line does 80% of the work and most people spend about 2% of the time on it. Now, before I settle on any subject line, I put it through my 3-question test. If they pass all 3, now I know I have a good subject line. So test number 1, does it open a loop their brain has to close? So think curiosity, because curiosity isn't magic. It's just incomplete information. For example, market update for March. It's complete. There's nothing to close. It's deleted, right? Now think the step most buyers skip. They're thinking, wait, like what step? Am I skipping this step? Right? The gap is open. So if the subject line answers its own question, then it's already dead. Test number 2, would a stranger open this? So think trust. So here's the reality. Your leads might not know you or they've forgotten about you, right? So you're a stranger in their inbox. So the subject can't be about you, right? Not just checking in or not my new listing. It has to be about their money, their investment, their timeline. And if the subject line works even when they've forgotten who you are, that's the win here. Okay, now test number 3, would they send this to someone they know? Recommend, right? This is the biggest win because almost nobody thinks about this. But so when someone forwards your email, they're spending their reputation on you. 2 examples, 2 ways to build your down payment faster that the banks don't want you to know. That gets sent to the girlfriend, the brother, the roommate. And let me give you an example of an email that has always worked really well for me. It's in my Renter Future Buyer drip campaign, which is my best performing drip campaign that nurtures my clients automatically through my CRM. I have an email that gets an 60% open rate. Okay, so the subject is wealth building opportunity. That's it. 60% open rate means that if I sent this email to 100 people, 60 people opened it. Now, why this subject line works so well? Does it open a loop their brain has to close, right? Think again, curiosity. Wealth equals desirable. Everybody wants wealth, right? Now, opportunity sounds rare, sounds exclusive. It builds curiosity. Would a stranger open this? Trust. Well, who doesn't want a wealth building opportunity, right? Now, would they send it to someone they know? Would they recommend? Very likely, everybody wants wealth and everybody wants to validate their investments. In real estate terms, I've never had a client base their purchase on their decision alone. They always ask friends, right? Their family, mom, dad, spouse, people who are important to them, a second opinion before making any big investment. Now, the same applies here. That's what got people to click. It's something majority of people desire, right? It sounds exclusive, which means they don't want to miss out, or they will send it to their friends so that they can feel validated in this opportunity. One thing I want you to keep in mind, and this might be the first time you ever heard this from a real estate coach, but take your realtor hat off and put your marketer hat on, right? Because sales happen after marketing, which is why I believe understanding marketing is maybe the most valuable skill any real estate business owner can have. But that's for another video. So let's just look at a bad subject line or hook, right? Let's just say I have my realtor hat on. If I put exciting new listing, just hit the market, put it through the 3-question test. Exciting, right? You told them how to feel instead of making them feel something. Nobody has ever believed the word exciting in any subject line, right? Which means there's no loop in their brain to have any curiosity. A listing is an ad. They didn't ask for an ad. No one trusts an ad, right? Consumers are able to browse more houses, more information, more listings on free websites without the help of a real estate agent. So why should they care about your new listing that they can just browse likely anytime on any website at any time at their leisure? Now that you've gotten your client to open the email, okay, let's talk about how to get them to reply. So what's inside the actual email? Because there's nothing worse, nothing frustrates me more than opening an email, reading the first few sentences and realizing that this is clearly written by AI or ChatGPT. We're busy. Everybody is. And if I can tell that an email is written by AI, to me, that means you put as little effort as possible into this email, but you're asking me to take time out of my busy day to read it and respond. Do not waste my time, right? The major dead giveaways that an email is written by AI is full of emojis, embeds, like you know these emails, you've gotten these emails. And that's exactly what your clients are thinking too. So instead of being like every other realtor, let's go over to the second part of this framework. Less is more, spam versus value. The shorter the email, the more you're going to actually get people to read it and more likely that they're going to respond, because after all, that's the whole point. If the lead associates you with self-promo, advertising, long-winded emails with no value, it doesn't matter how good the subject line is, they're going to read your whimsical Canva template once, realize that you've wasted their time, and never want to read your emails again, right? They'll consider it spam. One of the best email newsletters that I'm subscribed to is Alex Hormozi's Mosey Minute. If you're not already subscribed to his emails, I highly recommend checking them out. He delivers incredible value in less than 1 minute. That's his promise, and he sticks to it every single time. He sends me these emails every single day, but I read and open every single one. And I get excited because I know that it's going to be short, to the point, and likely solving a problem that I have, which means he added value to my life in less than 1 minute, right? But then sometimes I get emails from agents like once a month about their new listing, and I hate it and I delete it and I unsubscribe. Your clients can either see an email from you and think, what are they going to try to sell me now? Or what problem is Dave trying to help me solve? In all of your emails, try to follow this simple framework: problem, solution, value. Okay, so here's an example of the email. Hi, contact first name, right? And I'm thinking problem, solution, value. For most people, the biggest thing keeping them out of the market isn't income, it's the down payment. I wanted to go over a pre-construction opportunity with you, as it can be an amazing chance for you to get into the market without having a large down payment. Although every builder has a different payment structure in terms of what they expect and what amount is owed before taking possession, I thought this information would be useful to you. Pre-construction can be an absolutely amazing wealth building opportunity. It's my job as your real estate broker to sort through hundreds of projects and find unique opportunities for you to take advantage of low prices and ensure great returns. Now, not all pre-construction projects are worth investing in. Truthfully, very few actually are even worth looking at. However, this project in particular, I plan to invest in myself, so I wanted to share it with you. I have some time later today for a call, or just respond to this email and I can go over why this project is worth looking at. So if you follow this framework exactly, you're guaranteed to get more replies, because the reason you're sending the email is to get a response that moves that client down your sales funnel. Okay. It's not, the purpose of the email is not to sell them on that email. It's to get them a part of your ecosystem. It's so that the client thinks of you instead of anyone else when they're ready to buy, rent a home, and nobody else. So here's a free gift to you. Steal this email, use it yourself. And when it works, come back to the comment section and let me know how many leads that you generated from this one single email. Now let's get to the third part of creating the perfect email, because now we understand the importance of the subject. We understand the formula to follow when drafting an email. And now the next part of the framework might seem obvious, but it's actually the most overlooked part of the email. It's the call to action. You've got them to open it, the subject line, you've got them to read it, right? Less is more, you've provided value. Now the only part left is the part that actually makes you money, right? Getting them to the reply. And this is where most agents fumble, when they're at the 1 yard line, right? Almost every agent ends an email in one of two ways. Book a free consultation today, schedule a call with me here, with the big button in the calendar link, right? Think about this from your leads point of view for a second. They met you 30 seconds ago in their inbox, and you're already asking them to lock in a meeting with a salesperson. That's like proposing on the first date, right? It doesn't matter how good the email was, the ask is just too big. So they end up doing nothing, right? Now, mistake number 2 is the no ask at all. The email just ends. Have a great weekend. Or the classic, let me know if you have any questions, right? That's not a call to action, that's homework. And now they have to come up with the question. You gave them value and then gave them nowhere to go, right? It's a complete dead end. So here's the rule, and I want you to write this one down. The size of the ask determines the number of replies. Big ask equals, more often than not, silence, and a small ask equals, more often than not, a lot of replies. Remember, you're not trying to close them inside the email. You're trying to get a response and just move them one step down your sales funnel. And here's a bonus almost no agent knows. Every reply trains your Gmail. So when your leads reply, your inbox providers see that as a person having a conversation, not a promotion. More replies means more of your future emails land in the primary inbox, not just the promotions tab, or even worse, the spam tab. So a good call to action doesn't just win this email, it wins every email you send after it, right? Just like our subject line, before I send any email, I run the CTA through 3 questions. Is it one ask, one email, one action? If you ask them to call you and check your new listing and follow you on Instagram, then they choose to do nothing, right? Because confusion almost always kills replies. Test number 2, can they answer it from their phone in 10 seconds, right? Your leads are likely reading this in line for coffee, right? And if replying means opening a calendar, filling out a form, or writing a paragraph, you lost them, right? The perfect reply is like 1 word to 1 sentence max. And test 3, does replying cost them anything? Right? Is it zero commitment? Replying, yeah, sure, send it over. It doesn't mean they're buying. It means they're curious. And curiosity is all you need, right? Curiosity is a live lead. So let's go back to our wealth building opportunity email one more time and look at how it ends. I have some time later today for a call, or just respond. I have some time later today for a call, or just respond to this email and I can go over exactly why this project is worth looking at. So I run it through my task. Is it one ask? Yes, just respond to this. Right? The call is there for hot leads, but the escape hatch is right there. The 10-second test, what makes it worth looking at, right? Sent from iPhone. Is it zero commitment? They're not agreeing to buy a pre-construction property. They're not booking anything. They're just responding. That's the call to action that turned an automated email into closed commissions. Now, realtor hat off, marketing hat on. Let's look at the difference. Big ask gets silence. Small ask gets replies. Now, one more pro tip before we wrap this up. End your email with a question mark, right? Because questions demand answers. Statements don't. If your last line ends in a period, rewrite it until it ends in a question. So free gift number 2, steal any CTA from that right-hand column and drop it at the bottom of your next email. And comment below to let me know how many replies you got from your existing database. So let's kill every excuse you walked in here with. You can no longer say that your emails don't get opened. You spend 80% of the time on the subject line and run it through the 3-question test. You can no longer say you don't know what to write. Think problem, solution, value, and less is more. And you can no longer say that your leads don't respond, right? One small ask, answerable from their phone in 10 seconds. You're not selling the house in the email, you're just selling the reply. Everything in this video came from years of testing inside my own CRM. And every one of these systems is inside my free course. My top 6 agent systems in Real Estate Money Community, 100% for free. The link is in the description. Now, everything here you just watched runs on systems. And where you hang your license decides how many of those systems you have to build alone. If you followed my channel, you know the biggest video on my channel with the most amount of views is why I left eXp Realty. So this is a little awkward, but I'm back. And what changed was big enough to make me eat my words publicly. And I'm gonna break down the whole video right here if you wanna watch. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you have any questions or any emails that you've actually seen success with, drop it in the comments. I genuinely wanna help realtors be better. And I monitor my comment section all of the time. I appreciate you being here. Like and subscribe to the channel if you wanna see more videos like this, and I will see you on the next video.